Going guys, Cody guys back again, dropping yet another video. Right guys, everyone keeps asking me about Tommy Robinson. Free Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson's a racist, this, that and the other. Right, now, I don't really have a thought on Tommy Robinson either way. Right, obviously we know that he used to be the leader of the EDL. For me, the EDL are just nothing but a fascist, bigoted, racist organisation, and I stick to that. But Tommy had 4 Muslims at his wedding, 4 Asian Muslims at his wedding. So, is he really racist? The fact that he's going after these Muslim grooming gangs and stuff, I'd respect him more if he went after white people that were convicted, black people that were convicted of the crime, but he strictly goes for Muslims. Right, which then, and he's slagging off the Prophet Muhammad, yeah, as Muslims say, peace be upon him, Allah, the Quran, what it teaches, the wording, the facts about Prophet Muhammad, said it was all right to have sex with your daughter and kids and stuff, and all that sort of crazy stuff, right, that comes out and stuff, and slagging off the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to Muslims, like I say, it's going to infuriate them and stuff like that. You've got liberals, Muslims, and you've got very strict Muslims as well that pray 5 times a day and they live by what the Quran teaches, yeah. Now, like I say, you can't demonize all Muslims as like terrorists and pedophiles and everything else, because that's simply not the case. There's good and bad in all societies, guys, right? I know Muslims, I get on with Muslims, I nearly converted to Islam, right? Now, like I say, Tommy being in prison, Muslims are some of the nicest people I've ever met, legit, decent people. I've been in prison with them. People will have a thought about that. Like I say, convicted of drugs charges and stuff like that, but I get on with them, good people, good banter. But Muslims as overall, they live a segregated life. Their way of living by the teachings of the Quran are not in line with Western culture, the way that we live, drinking, eating pig, and just the way we dress and stuff like that. It's just not for them. So they live in segregated communities. For the most part, send their children to Muslim Islamic schools and stuff like that. Tommy Robinson being in prison, there's different things that can happen, right? Like I say, you can go on the numbers. He can go on, if he goes on the numbers, goes on the VP wing, right? Vulnerable prisoners, for the vulnerable in the sense that they would be attacked because of the nature of the crimes. For the most part, not everyone on the nonce wing is a rapist and a kiddie fiddler. Like I say, you get people that go on, that end up on that wing and asked to go on protection because they can't handle the prison, or they're in fear for their life, or they're in for woman beats, things like that. But going on the numbers overall is seen as an embarrassment, right? It's seen as the stigmas attached to it. It's the coward's way, right? And as guys and doing the whole macho thing, like I say, do you go on the numbers? Or like I say, the segregation unit is probably the most applicable to Tommy Robinson. It'd be allowed out for half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. No one could get him, right? By being put, if he went onto the VP wing, there's a chance, because obviously the Rotherham grooming scandal and all the other cases that Tommy's like run his eye over and spoken about and stuff like that and everything, and like filming him and like calling him alleged rapists and like I say, slagging off the Prophet Muhammad, things like that, right? It's like I say, Tommy could end up, if he was on a VP wing and this Rotherham grooming scandal, and you've got this case out of Huddersfield, like Bradford way, like I say, there's a chance that they could end up in Armley prison, Doncaster prison, or Hull prison. And if Tommy's on that wing and stuff, and they land at that prison, Tommy could be attacked on the VP wing. So the segregation unit is probably the most applicable to Tommy, because I'll be honest with you, there'll be a price on Tommy's head. I absolutely, genuinely do believe that. He's in prison, he will be targeted and stuff, but the thing is with him, it will be on protection. But because Tommy's he's quite a ballsy character, right? Now, if he waives his right to go on the numbers and goes into general population, he will be attacked by prisoners. There will be prisoners that want to get at him. But then at the same number, there might be some racist, neo-Nazi sort of like prisoners that don't like Muslims or like Islam or Asians or whatever, right? And stand shoulder to shoulder with Tommy. So then you've got two warring factions in a violent environment like prison. Could absolutely go off. Now, like I say, then you've got OP. OP stands for own protection. Now, I've come across old protections where what it is, they go into general population, but they're locked behind the door. They're known as DNUs, Do not unlocks, right? Again, same sort of process applies. They get out for half an hour in the morning when the other prisoners on the wing are locked up, so they can't be got at, and then they get out for the meals before the other lads, and then in the evening, once the association's finished and the other lads go behind the doors, these OPs will be locked behind their door. When everyone else is locked up, apart from the cleaners, their cells will be open. The OPs will get out. They can get on the phone. They've got half an hour to get a shower, put the food menus in, post letters. Like I say, get a shower and get on the phone. Right? That's OP. Right? So that's, in my experience, in general population, OP. You're locked up 23 hours a day. Like I say, you're out for half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, separate to the other prisoners on that wing. It's as simple as that. But like I say, prison's a very violent, very volatile place, right? Small things become mountains. Mountains can make your head explode, right? Prisons are it's like the demographic of a wing changes on a daily basis because people get out, then new people come on. They're always trying to fill them slots. If there's a space in the prison or there's a space on that wing, someone gets out, 2-3 people get out of the wing, 2 people get out of the wing, 5 people, whatever, 5 people slot in. Now that will change the demographic and stuff like that of the wing and stuff. But by putting Tommy in prison, his life is at real risk, and it's as simple as that. Now, like I say, is he going to be on the numbers? I think he should be. But again, there's an embarrassment sort of like demasculated sense that if you go onto on protection, that it's like, well, where are your balls, mate? You went to prison and stuff. But like I say, what I've seen of Tommy when he was attacked outside McDonald's, there was more of these anti-fascists than there was of Tommy. Tommy stood there and was going to throw down with them. Right? So he's obviously got balls now. I believe personally that he should be on protection, but I don't think he's going to be. I think he'll be in general population. He's probably sat on the induction wing because he's waived his right to go on the numbers because, again, he's a ballsy kid. He doesn't want to be seen to be hiding and stuff like that. But you've got to think about like I say, with understaffing and violence being so high within prisons, prisoners are ingenious at fashioning weapons and stuff like that. You've got napalming, which is hot water and sugar. The hot water and the sugar congeals. It becomes like a glucose solution. You throw it in somebody's face. The sugar, the hot water, obviously, and the sugar sticks to the skin, and because of the heat, it sort of drags the skin, and it's called napalming, right? You've got pull balls in socks, the shanks and stuff. The prisoners are ingenious at making weapons out of anything and everything. Tommy Robinson, for me, there'll be a price on his head within prison. It's a very, very dangerous place to be, and like I say, he's not guaranteed to have a load of former EDL sympathisers behind him. Obviously, we know he's not involved with the EDL anymore. He was with Rebel Media, and then I think he went solo and doing his thing. Tommy was quite careful outside the Leeds Crown Court to say, look, alleged rapists, alleged paedophiles, things like that. And by naming these people and by naming their address, but that was already out there in the public domain, right? Like I say, is Tommy Robinson racist? Then people say, yeah, but Islam's not a race, it's an ideology, a race, religion, blah, blah, blah. But he had 4 Muslims at his weddings. He knocks around with Hindus and Sikhs, right? So when he was part of the EDL, honestly, out and out, I thought he was a racist. Genuinely believed it, right? I don't support him in his actions, I don't support him in his thoughts, right? The fact he's highlighting Muslim grooming gangs is good, but for me, I'd respect him if he covered anyone that was in court, part of a grooming gang or paedophiles or these paedophile hunters. If it was something to do with that, and he wasn't going after a certain like say race or religion or ideology, whatever you want to call it, right? I'd respect him more, and then people would think, well, actually, it's not being racist at all. And like I say, you guys love your own ideas and stuff, but Tommy being in prison, I'll be honest with you, I feel as if the system, the government are trying to wipe him out because if they get older, Tommy's a ballsy person, right? I don't know him from Adam, but I've seen that he's quite ballsy. Now, by being ballsy, I think he'll go into general population. I think he'll run that risk. He could pay with his life. It's as simple as that. Now, like I say, these Muslims don't mess about in prison, right? Like I say, if you're from certain areas, you'll run with people from certain areas. If you're Muslims, you'll run with Muslims and stuff like that. So these Muslims will all be together, and you'll have one fucking live wire on the wing that takes exception to Tommy Robinson being on the wing if he isn't on protection, and would go after him and stuff, and would be held in high regard. If a Muslim kills Tommy Robinson in prison, that Muslim prisoner will be held in high regard. Doesn't have to be a Muslim, to be honest with you, right? It could be an anti-fascist, right? But whoever, if someone kills Tommy Robinson in prison, there'll be an uproar and stuff. Tommy's got a lot of supporters and stuff, and by the media and stuff like that, and the courts and the police and the court service, by trying to, like, there was blackout on the reporting and stuff for Tommy, then that's been lifted because he's obviously been sentenced and stuff. But they're trying to we live in a democracy, right? Now, like I say, you used to have the hooked cleric, what is he called? I can't think, Abu Hamza, outside Finsbury Park Mosque, praying and stuff, preaching death to the West and stuff. He was eventually, I think he ended up in the States on an extradition treaty. He goes over there. But like I say, it's supposed to be no democracy, right? And like I say, the media bias of what's going on in the world and stuff, they paint a picture and stuff like that. So Tommy was never going to get a fair crack at the whip, right? And like I say, the fact is, for what he said outside court on that live stream, which is in my last video, guys, or my second to last video, he was very, very careful. He approached it quite well, but he was already on a suspended sentence for a previous contempt of court. And like I say, the fact he's worked in them journalism circles, he knows about reporting restrictions, he knows what he can and can't say. And personally, I don't feel like he said actually anything wrong. The Muslims that he was filming and stuff were telling him to fuck off and spitting at him and kicking off and stuff like that. Like I say, there's a real possibility that if they're convicted, I think they've been convicted, or I'm not too sure, they might be a retrial, I'm not too sure about that. But if they end up in the same prison Tommy Robinson's in, they'll be on the VP wing. If Tommy's already on the VP wing, trust me, they'll attack him and he'll end up paying with his life. If Tommy gets attacked in prison and stuff, like I say, or killed in prison, and like I say, it sounds quite strange, doesn't it? Killed in prison. But it goes on, guys. There was a guy in Wormwood Scrubs, that was a rival gang member, got attacked by 10 of them. They killed him off. Tommy Robinson would be a big reward for Muslims or anti-fascists to actually kill. For someone to take Tommy's scalp or to kill him in prison. On the back of this case, like I say, it would cause a media uproar. You've got everyone doing this free Tommy Robinson and stuff like that. Like I say, I don't agree with him. I don't disagree. Like I say, I know Muslims, right? And like I say, not all Muslims are racists and fucking like pedophiles and part of grooming gangs or like, do you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't go on that way. They live in segregated communities for the most part and stuff like that. But like I say, their way of living, Muslims, by living by the Quran, and our ways of living, and they don't really fit in. So Muslims, for the most part, live in segregated communities amongst their own people, amongst their own religion, which makes absolute sense, to be honest with you. But like I say, Muslims, I've met some of the most greatest Muslims about. Nice people, big hearts, respectful, polite, and like the diversity. I like the diversity of here in Manchester, because you've got all these different people from different religions, races, backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, do you know what I mean? Ethnic minorities and stuff like that. I love that. I think what makes this country great and stuff. But like I say, Tommy's obviously, they're trying to silence it and stuff. We're supposed to live in democracy. They're trying to go after his Twitter account. They'll be going after his YouTube account. They'll be going after his Facebook account. They're trying to snuff him out. They're trying to sweep him under the rug. But you cannot sweep, by bringing the attention of these Muslim grooming gangs to the forefront and stuff, it's the absolute right thing to do, because like I say, but again, there are white pedophiles, there are Muslim pedophiles, grooming gangs, and there are probably black guys that do it as well, men and women, stuff like that. You don't hear much about women stuff in America, you do with these teachers and stuff, but grooming gangs are grooming guys. I'm not bothered what someone's colour is, what creed they are, what their race or religion is. If you're a paedophile, you are a paedophile. It's as simple as that. Now, like I say, it's as simple as that. But like I say, by Tommy doing what he was doing, he's put his head above the parapet and stuff, and the police and the courts and the authorities are going after him, silence him, sweep it under the rug. And by doing so, Tommy's imprisonment has actually overshadowed the actual case. And what you don't want to do with cases like that, you don't want it swept under the rug. Absolutely not. Absolutely not at all. Like I say, it's as simple as that, guys. We're supposed to live in a democracy. It's not really a democracy, is it really? My opinion is Tommy's life is at real risk in prison. As a former prisoner myself, hopefully he's gone onto the numbers on the protection, because I don't believe, unless it's a paedophile or a rapist or something like that, they need to be housed on their own wing and stuff. And like I say, Tommy, if he's put with them, because he won't agree with what they've done, he could attack them or they could attack him. If he's put in the segregation unit, spending 23 hours a day, half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, 23 hours locked up. If he's put in general population, he could just be getting about, not on OP, and he's about the wing with everybody else, or he could be on OP, which means own protection, where again he's housed on general population. He's out for half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening. It's as simple as that, guys. But like I say, Tommy's life is definitely at risk in prison, and it's as simple as that. Now, you guys have to let me know what you think about the video. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like I said, I'm not an expert on Tommy Robinson. I'm not an expert on what he stands for, guys. I sort of read the story, flick through, and carry on with my life. I don't bat an eyelid. There's a lot of people that feel very strongly about what Tommy's saying. A lot of people feel very strongly against what Tommy's saying, calling him a fascist, a bigot, or some people are calling him a hero. Now, like I say, that's not for me to decide, guys. I'm sort of, the fact is, like, bringing attention of Muslim grooming gangs is fantastic, but go after white paedophiles as well and black paedophiles. You don't just isolate it to Muslims and stuff, because that's where he loses. That's where he becomes bigoted and a fascist and stuff like that. But let me know what you think, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. It's not the best video. My thoughts are not that good, but let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Speak to you soon. Bye.